Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm gonna do my week 11 hive inspection, but before I got started I wanted to share with you guys what I found was happening last week, and it was creating a bit of an issue, and I want to share what I did to, or in hopes to correct the issue that I was having. So last week was the week 10 hive inspection, and when I opened up the hive, I noticed that the bees were storing the sugar syrup that I was feeding them in their brood nest. And so that creates an issue to where the queen doesn't have room to lay eggs in the brood nest because it's all filled up with the sugar syrup. So basically, I was overfeeding the bees. And so what I did to correct the issue was, one, I obviously took the feeder out of the hive, and two, I put some undrawn empty foundation in between the frames of brood in the bottom of the hive. And also the queen was trying to move up and start laying in the top box, so I put an empty frame of foundation in the top box as well, in between the two frames that she was trying to lay in. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, just in case, I have a new beekeeper watching, and you haven't experienced it yet. I learned from it, so I just wanted to share it with you guys. And with that, I'll just go ahead and start the week 11 hive inspection. I'll give the bees a little smoke, get the hive inspection started. Hopefully they aren't too aggravated today. It's a little bit overcast. It's been drizzling on and off, so I'll go ahead and open it up and see if taking the frame feeder out and putting those empty frames in between the brood nests is helping out with the queen laying. Okay, we got a good amount of bees up top. I always like to make sure the queen's not up here before I just set it on the ground. This is one of the brand new frames I put last week. They're not really doing too much from it or on it. It looks like they're taking some of the wax that I put on it and moving it around the hive wherever they would need it. Same thing on this side. Not doing too much. This next frame is heavy. See, this is a frame they filled up with sugar syrup, which is my fault. I let them overfill it. And this is where she was laying brood, or laying eggs, right in this portion. And I know it may be hard to see on camera, but it's all full of sugar syrup. So what I did was is I gave them the frame, the first frame that I took out, and I gave them this next frame. Now, hoping they started drawing this out for her to lay in, for the queen to lay in. Yeah, they have started drawing it out right through here. She hasn't started laying in it yet, but it's drawn out enough to where she could if she had to. So, and the main reason I was concerned is because the bees will swarm if you don't if the queen doesn't have any room to lay. So that was my main concern. I didn't want them to leave, so that's why I put these new frames where I put them. But this is a brand new frame, and they're already storing sugar syrup right here, or nectar. I guess it's nectar because I don't have any sugar syrup for them to take. And there's a little hive beetle down in there. I can't get him. This next frame is an old frame that I put in here, and it's very heavy. It's all full of sugar syrup and honey. Two little cap cells are brewed there. There's also an emergency queen cup right there in the middle, but I'm looking down in there and I'm seeing no egg in it, so it's okay to just leave it. So this other side is nothing but capped honey. And it looks like they got two little swarm cells on the bottom of the frame. There's no eggs in them though, so that's good. I just went ahead and took them off. Another new frame. They're just barely drawing it out in the middle. Same thing on this side. We're just barely drawing it out through this portion. The next frame is full of sugar syrup. They're starting to cap it up at the top. And they're barely starting to draw out this portion. It has a little bit of sugar syrup through there. These cells are all empty, so the queen could come up and lay up here if she needs to. Next frame is an old frame, nothing but sugar syrup in the drawn out portion on both sides. New frame, not much drawn out yet. It's the same thing on the next one. And then this outside frame is one that they filled up with sugar syrup, and they're starting to cap it at the top on this side, and this other side is completely capped. So this frame was initially right here where I had the feeder. That's why it's all filled up, and I moved it to the edge so they can keep their stores, their food stores on the edges of the box. This one's pretty much full of sugar syrup. I'm gonna put it on the edge next to this other one. So they'll have two food frames on the end, or on that end. This will be an empty one. This one is full of food. I'll put it on the end. Just trying to help them out, give them room to put brood if they need it. I'm going to reverse it around and put the capped honey on the outside, right here next to the edge of the box. Yeah, they're getting pretty unhappy, but I'll go ahead and leave this frame right where it is. And I'll put this frame that they have a portion of it drawn out. I guess it's fine where it is. Go ahead and slide this frame back in, and I'll take the top box off. Trying to get this smoker going again. I got this new little frame grabber. I'm gonna try it out since I cracked the box using this hive tool. See if this thing works a little bit better. I don't think I'm gonna use it. It's gonna tear up all the honey that they built. First frame is full of nectar. This is what I was talking about. They're just filling all the cells up with the sugar syrup. There's a couple of empty cells down at the bottom. No eggs in them. Same thing here, capped honey, nothing but sugar syrup in the middle, capped honey. Got a couple empty cells up at the top. See, this is all honey, and in the middle is supposed to be the brood nest, but in some of the cells they have sugar syrup, so the queen wasn't able to lay in those cells. Some of them are empty, and I'm not seeing eggs down in there. There's one larvae there in that cell. Looking for eggs or larvae. Only see two larvae. Very sparse amount of larvae and no eggs. But we're on the first frame of the brood nest, so hopefully we'll see a little bit better, a little bit more larvae as we go. This next frame I put in here for them in hopes that the queen would use it to lay in. I put it in here last week. Still very light, but they're starting to slowly draw it out. They got 2 emergency queen cups right there, and it looks like they're working on a third one. Here's another one right here. They were all empty, but they're doing pretty good in drawing this out, considering I put it in here like 5 days ago. Everybody's deciding to cut their grass right now. Yep. See, this is all still full of sugar syrup. I'm hoping they'll start to take some of it out and move it to other places in the hive so the queen could have her brood nest back. Same thing happened on this side. It's full of sugar syrup. There's some cells that are empty that she could lay in, but I'm not seeing any eggs in any of these cells yet. They're all empty or have sugar syrup in them. Another partially drawn out frame, a little bit of capped honey and sugar syrup in the other cells. There's a couple empty cells with nothing in them. Same thing on this side, capped honey and sugar syrup in the cells. Little emergency cup right here. Nothing in there. This is a nice light frame to have a little bit of capped honey on the edges. I'm seeing a couple of larvae. Not much. Some little tiny larvae, some bigger larvae. I see one egg so far. Couple of cat brood. See if y'all can spot the queen right there. She's pretty easy to see. But since she's on this frame, let's see if there's any eggs. Just seeing some larvae. There's very spotty larvae through all different stages. Some big, some little. The queen still got a nice size to her, so I don't think they're preparing to swarm soon. And then looking in these cells, she still has plenty of room to lay, so I don't think that's going to be a concern anymore. And it's the later part of July, so she should be slowing down on laying anyway because it's so hot and there's not much nectar for them to gather at the moment. Got a nice little royal court around her. There's about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Has about 20 bees around her, just helping her out, giving her whatever she may need. Go ahead and slide her back in nice and slowly. Watching her the whole time. I would really like to see a good frame of larvae. I'm not seeing that yet. It's a bunch of empty cells with spotty larvae. spotty cat brood. Last week I saw a bunch of eggs, so this week I should be seeing pretty large sized larvae in all of these cells, and I'm not seeing it. There's a larvae here and there. It's very spotty. That's all bee bread right there. A lot of these cells got filled up with sugar syrup. There are a couple larvae in there, and that's about it. Some bee bread, capped honey. This side you got a emergency queen cup that is empty. Last frame is nothing but pollen. It's starting to drizzle a little bit, so I'm gonna hurry up and close them. We'll just see this last frame here. Bee bread, sugar syrup, honey. This side is capped honey. Ooh, like 3 hive beetles. Alright, got the top box back on. Rain's starting to come down. I'd say perfect timing. So that's pretty much it for our week 11 hive inspection. Saw the queen in there. We know she has room to lay now. I think she just slowed down because of, like I said, it's kind of like the summer dearth right now, and there's not much to forage, so they don't need as many bees right now. I'm hoping in a couple of weeks she'll start laying some more for them to prepare for the fall flow. We got goldenrod coming up in a couple months, so we'll check on them again next week. But I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see y'all on the next one.